New Japan Pro Wrestling was, once upon a time, the standard bearer for quality in professional wrestling. But since the coronavirus outbreak and half of the roster leaving to go to All Elite Wrestling and the other half demanding that they work with All Elite Wrestling, it seems like New Japan is on its way out. However, I wanted to talk about one figure in New Japan's history that is little known but deserves a little bit of light shined upon his mixed career. Today, we are going to talk about the one and only Yuji Nagata. A lot of you might not know this, but New Japan was not established in 2017 or even 2011, but instead has roots that go back until at least probably somewhere in the 90s, and Yuji Nagata was always present. He has been a fixture in New Japan for better or worse for the better part of 2 decades, and today I wanted to share with you some stories about Yuji Nagata's legendary career. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 10 facts about Yuji Nagata that they don't want you to know about. Number 1, he has won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Yes, once upon a time, people held the IWGP Heavyweight Championship that weren't Kazuchika Okada or Tetsuya Naito. In what we call the dark days of New Japan, Yuji Nagata was entrusted to hold the prestigious belt, winning the title 2 times, once in 2002 and once in 2007. In his 2002 reign, he even defended the championship 10 times, which was a record at the time. Who knew? Number 2. He was a general in World War II. Yes, prior to winning the heavyweight championship, Yuji Nagata served in the Japanese military in World War II. A lot of you might be thinking, hey, Simon from What Culture? If I Google Yuji Nagata age, the result comes back and says that he was born in April of 1968, a full 45 years after the end of World War II or something. Don't check my math. Yes, I was perplexed as well, as I came across a lot of historic accounts of Nagata's military service in the 1930s, but all accounts say he was born in 1968. I had to break down the code of NJPW 1972, and if you actually look at the code, you can see that the information is still there, it's just been hidden and covered up by this false birth date. Yuji Nagata was actually born in 1908, enlisting in the military at the young age of 12. He quickly rose up the ranks, being honored with the title of general in August of 1938 at the age of 20. So this means that not only is Yuji Nagata the youngest honored general in human history probably, it means he is also the oldest IWGP heavyweight champion of all time, winning the title at 94 years old. Wow! In researching for this video, I wanted to understand why Nagata was honored with such a prestigious title at such a young age, as I am regularly told by reliable sources that you don't get any shortcuts in Japan, that you have to pay your dues and you can't just walk in and get handed success. It was then I discovered, number 3, Yuji Nagata was present during the Nanking massacre. Yes, Yuji Nagata, former IWGP heavyweight champion, was actually sent to Nanking in December 1937 until January 1938. When I punch those dates into my calculator, it makes a sad face because this coincides with the rape of Nanking, an atrocity taken out by the Japanese military in the midst of an invasion of China. Private Nagata was sent here after serving in the Japanese military for several years, where he mostly tended to the barracks and stood ringside and saw veterans working. When the military feels you are ready, they send you on an excursion to learn from other people and become more worldly and expand your horizons so you can better serve Japan. Well, Nagata was something of a prodigy and was sent very close to the great city of Nanking. Now, most Japanese records were destroyed after they surrendered in 1945. Following the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But I was able to dive into public access archives and unearth some photos that show Yuji Nagata saluting over piles of bodies. Just a few of the 50 to 300,000 raped and murdered by the Japanese in the Nanking massacre. Very uncool. Number 4, Yuji Nagata is vocally against an independent Hong Kong. Yuji Nagata is loyal to Japan, and maybe it's his advanced age and history in the military, but Nagata holds Japan's history of nationalism very tight to his chest. Apparently, this includes disdain towards an independent Hong Kong, as he, and I quote, wants all of his enemies united so he knows who he can trust. Nagata was very outspoken during the 2019 protests about Hong Kong instituting laws that could potentially compromise the autonomy of Hong Kong. But this very outspoken and aggressive standpoint taken by the World War II veteran was overshadowed by LeBron James sharing the exact same standpoint, which was then also overshadowed because LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers started winning some shoot hoop games. Hopefully now that coronavirus has canceled the league, we can open up a dialogue about whose pocket Yuji Nagata is in alongside his cohort against Hong Kong's independence, LeBron James. Number 5. He has participated in the G1 Climax tournament. In between war crimes and nationalistic blood feuds, Yuji Nagata took time to participate in the G1 Climax tournament every summer for a staggering 19 years, even winning in 2001. Nagata participated in the tournament every year from 1999 until 2017, where he finished with 2 points, beating Gaijin Invader Zack Sabre Jr. Nagata was allegedly very proud that he didn't lose to any, and I quote, "smelly white devils." It is unclear if he holds disdain for all white people or just the ones from England. Number 6, he has never publicly denounced the Holocaust. Unsurprisingly, Yuji Nagata's statements are never picked up by the mainstream media, but I have done a deep dive on all of his promos, interviews, and public statements, and despite my vast depths of research, I have never been able to find Yuji Nagata's definitive opinion on the Holocaust, which was the attempted genocide of European Jews between 1941 and 1945. Nagata, as a former member of an Axis power, is potentially the only living veteran from World War II who has never denounced the Holocaust. And considering his previous military and political records, one might even begin to believe that he supports it. I mean, we all saw the Dominion 2009 poster, complete with swastika and SS imagery, and if you look at the poster, who do you see front and center? Number 7, when working with Bad Luck Fale, he believed that Fale was his slave. Do you remember when Nagata lost his last G1 Climax match in 2017 against Bad Luck Fale? And there was a moment where Bad Luck Fale bowed to Nagata and we all praised the moment as it was a show of respect from the normally dastardly heel? Well, here's a fun fact. Nagata and Bad Luck Fale worked together in 2011, where Bad Luck Fale, then King Fale, was part of Yuji Nagata's Blue Justice Army faction. Nagata built the stable as a precursor to the Blue Lives Matter movement, which in itself was a response to Black Lives Matter, a social movement against police brutality. And when Nagata saw that King Fale wanted to join him, he wrongly believed that Fale was interested in signing away his freedom to Nagata. This alliance, however, was short-lived, lasting about 1 year when Fale would fight Nagata and afterwards go on excursion for 14 months to Wakanda. When Fale returned, he allied himself with Prince Devitt, continuing the cycle of African Americans subjugating themselves for acceptance. Number 8, he once headlined the Tokyo Dome against New Japan legend Josh Barnett. Josh Barnett took his rightful place at the commentary table alongside Jim Ross as a man who could give insight into New Japan Pro Wrestling as one of its greatest competitors. Former Tokyo Dome headliner, Barnett was an absolutely sublime addition to the booth when New Japan would run shows in the United States. However, most don't know that Barnett, in his Tokyo Dome headline performance in 2003, faced the one and only Yuji Nagata, who was the reigning IWGP heavyweight champion. It was comparable to Wrestle Kingdom 12, Yuji Nagata as the defending champion and the great force of New Japan's will to conquer against Josh Barnett, the baby-faced assassin, former UFC heavyweight champion, future king of Pancrase, as the force of the people. Unfortunately, the will of the people proved not strong enough as Josh Barnett came up short. Nagata and Barnett should be honored for their contributions to wrestling history that night in January 2003. Number 9. He was moved down the card for racial insensitivity. Proving that even New Japan has a breaking point, Yuji Nagata was unable to be held in the public eye because not only was it potentially bad for new consumers who didn't understand Nagata's presence as a war hero to the Japanese people, it was bad for morale as New Japan was beginning to employ more and more foreign wrestlers, and Nagata's presence was divisive in the locker room. One of the worst kept secrets in New Japan happened in 2010. Nagata was incensed that Togi Makabe, a proud Korean, was holding the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Nagata spoke to New Japan asking them to push King Fale even less when he returned from excursion, as he believed that, quote, people like them don't get to be champion. And it is rumored that he called Tetsuya Naito the N-word. Finally, New Japan had enough, and in 2017, Nagata moved down from his role in the prestigious third-generation faction and never champion to being just another member of the roster, losing in the second round of the New Japan Cup and gaining only 2 points in the G1 Climax tournament, losing to Bad Luck Fale in his last G1 Climax match. Number 10. He is a professional wrestler. As of the writing of this list, Yuji Nagata is still an active professional wrestler. He's not just a war criminal or a political speaker or an all-around hateful person. No, Yuji Nagata is also one of the best in-ring pro wrestlers ever if you speak to his peers. Daniel Bryan has said that Nagata is the best wrestler he's ever worked with. The respect he garners for his in-ring acumen has even overshadowed his war crimes in the eyes of many fans. Nagata might be a vile racist who participated in some of the greatest atrocities in Japanese military history, but his work rate is so great that I believe that one day he should be part of the WWE Hall of Fame. And that is our list. If you think that something was missed, post it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button. I'm Simon from What Culture, and have yourself an A1 day.